Hello and welcome to our course on working effectively from home. Working from home or working remotely could mean a variety of different things. For public health reasons, you may not be able to go to your office for a few weeks at a time. You may be working from a different office periodically, or you may have the opportunity to be a regular teleworker 1 or more days of the week. Whatever your situation, it's important that you are prepared. You want to have access to your files and other items you need to effectively perform your job regardless of your location. As with anything, there are advantages and disadvantages to working from home. Some of the advantages include a better ability to focus since you don't have distractions you may encounter in the office, a decrease in expenses for gas, tolls, and public transportation, more productive time since you don't have to commute, and more flexibility. Some of the disadvantages of working remotely could include feeling disconnected, feeling left out, and feeling cabin fever because of the increased amount of time spent in the same location. If you take advantage of our tips throughout this course, you can leverage the pros while minimizing the cons. This course will help make a smooth adjustment to working outside the office, whether it's for a day, a week, or much longer. The process of shifting your work environment to a remote location requires that you consider several questions as you prepare for the transition. Questions like, where will I work and what resources and equipment will I need to do my job? How will I stay in contact and collaborate with my colleagues and clients? What's the best way to demonstrate that I'm on the clock? How will I manage my time so I don't end up working outside of my scheduled hours? And a really important question to address is, how will I maintain my work-life balance? Throughout this course, we will answer these questions to help you prepare for and embrace your transition. As you plan to transition from your primary work location to your home or any other alternative location, it's important to designate and configure your workspace. Ideally, this will be in an area that's free from clutter and distractions. If you don't already have a home office, perhaps you have a room that isn't being used regularly that you could convert. If your available square footage is very limited at home, you may opt to create a dual-purpose space, such as your kitchen table. Once you designate your workspace, try it out. For some reason, if that space doesn't work, switch it up. Try another, or try adjusting what isn't working. Maybe a different chair will help, or change the location of your desk or tabletop. As you compare your workspace options, consider whether you work best in a quiet environment or a place where there's stimulating background noise. If your home is too quiet, you may want to play music on a speaker or headphones. Or some people decide that their home is not the best place for them to work and consider other public areas like coffee shops or public libraries. In addition to the physical location where you work, there are other things to take into account. You need to determine the hardware, software, network access, and internet requirements that you need to have to work effectively. You can find out from your supervisor or IT department whether your computer is configured with all the software applications that you'll need. Additionally, your employer might require that you utilize company-owned equipment instead of your personal computer, and getting assigned equipment may take time. Also, it's very probable that your company has security protocols in place that will restrict access to the company network without special permission. For instance, you may need to access a virtual private network, more commonly referred to as a VPN. A VPN is used for security purposes to access internal servers, databases, and websites. You'll need to take precautions to ensure you're protected from a security breach and that you're in compliance with your company's policies. If you plan on taking advantage of free Wi-Fi, for instance, it's highly likely that you will need a VPN access in order to do so. Ensuring you have your IT and security needs in place definitely must be something you do before you begin working remotely. Next, be sure to think about and gather other office equipment supplies and tools you may need. For example, you may need a headset with a microphone or a speaker for conference calls. Or if you have a laptop, it might be more efficient to also have a larger monitor to connect to. And depending on the work you do, having 2 monitors might be necessary. If you have a direct office phone number, you'll need to determine how these calls can be routed to either a different phone or if the phone can be configured to be used at your home instead. Whatever the situation, you'll want to find answers to these questions in advance and arrange for assistance in setting up your IT needs. Now, what about power sources near your workspace? You'll want to ensure you have access to sufficient power sources for all of your devices. Consider, do you have enough outlets? Are they conveniently accessible to your worktop? Do you have a surge protector that you can use? Having power to all your devices is great, but you won't get far if your internet access is weak or non-existent. If you're going to work from home, especially for an extended period of time, check your internet and home Wi-Fi speeds. Are they sufficient to your needs? If you're someone who regularly uploads and downloads large quantities of data, you may experience sluggish results if you have weak connectivity. One thing that's easy to overlook is lighting. Make sure you have appropriate overhead or desk lamps. Or, if you prefer natural light, position yourself near a window at home. Also, be sure to pay attention to the lighting throughout the day. A desk that works great in the morning might be too bright for you later in the afternoon. Finally, don't overlook your ergonomic preferences. If you have a particular surface or chair height at work, you'll want to replicate that to the extent possible in your remote work environment. Your work chair is an extremely important and easily overlooked element in your efficiency. For instance, if you have a created space in your kitchen to work at, a hard kitchen chair will likely not be comfortable to sit in long term. Now that we've covered some key factors to consider for your workspace, in the next video, let's discuss strategies to streamline your communication and collaboration efforts as a teleworker. One of the key ingredients to being a successful teleworker is your ability to collaborate with others in ways that are similar to how you would interact in the office. There are many software applications and web resources that make staying connected in real time a breeze. Here are some of the collaborative resources you'll want to leverage. First, a cloud-based document storage location is strongly recommended. Applications such as Microsoft SharePoint and OneDrive and Google Drive can serve as a secure place to store and share your documents. Using a cloud-based solution in compliance with your company's policies will ensure that you can always access the files you'll need. Next, instant messaging software is another example of a collaborative resource to communicate with others in real time. Skype for Business, Microsoft Teams, Google Hangouts, and Jabber are examples of applications that have a built-in IM functionality. If your company offers any of these tools or others, use them as you would to drop by someone's cubicle in the office. They're great for staying connected and getting quick answers to questions. Virtual meetings are becoming increasingly popular for teleworkers. Again, applications such as Microsoft Teams, Skype for Business, Google Hangouts, along with Cisco WebEx and Zoom, allow you to interact as part of a team with built-in audio and video functionality. Most of these applications allow you to share your screen with coworkers, run presentations, record meetings, and do so much more. These resources are at the heart of your work-from-home software solutions. Finally, don't forget good old email. It's still a vital tool in your working remotely toolkit. Be sure to check your email regularly so you don't miss important announcements, updates, or meeting requests. Similarly, if you have information to share with your team and an immediate response is not required, email is a great choice. Find out which platforms your employer subscribes to and be sure to learn all you can to get the most out of these tools. In the previous videos, we discussed factors that will help you decide where to work as a teleworker. We also discussed resources that will empower you to stay connected. Now let's discuss tips for good remote work etiquette. The following suggestions will help you develop an optimal routine to remain productive during your work hours. Our first suggestion is to create a morning routine. Think about what you would do to prepare to go into the office and consider some of your typical action items. Here are some specific examples of a typical work-from-home morning routine. Get ready for the day as if you're going into the office. Shower and get dressed. Make coffee. Eat breakfast. Check your email. Glance over and refine your to-do list for the day. Our next suggestion is to set a regular work schedule and do your best to stick to it. This can be easier said than done, so don't be too hard on yourself as you fine-tune your schedule. Here are some specific tips to help you stay on track. Update your shared calendars with times that you're available as well as the times that you're not available. Mirror your office routine to your work-from-home schedule as much as possible. Prioritize tasks and plan what you'll be working on ahead of time. And schedule tasks for times when you're the most productive. For example, if you're not a morning person, when you can, save meetings and conference calls for the afternoons and take care of other items that require less interaction with others during the morning. When considering how much time you should allocate to a project or a task, block off more time than you think it will take. Projects often take more time to accomplish than we might expect, especially when competing priorities emerge. If you overestimate, you'll have a cushion and can exceed expectations on deliverables. Stay organized and track what you work on. For example, you might create and update a work plan to help you manage multiple tasks. This is also a great way to see all that you've accomplished. If possible, try to group your meetings together so you can spend quality time before and after meetings attending to other work. Determine your strategy to showcase your presence and availability. Skype for Business, for instance, offers a feature to show whether or not you're available in a meeting, or you can even set your presence to Do Not Disturb. Check the tools your company offers to see if there are similar features that you can use. Finally, and maybe most importantly, take breaks. Some teleworkers without the social element of coworkers find themselves working for hours on end without a pause. Plan your allocated breaks into your schedule just as you would when working in the office. These breaks, if taken, will actually increase your productivity. In addition to having a good morning routine and a schedule for your day, it's also important to set boundaries. Here's some suggestions for ways to maintain good boundaries. To avoid unwanted interruptions, if your communication software allows it, simply change your status to not available. This is a great way to broadcast to your coworkers that you can't talk right now. When you finish your focus work, simply set your status back to available. Be careful, it's tempting to accomplish personal tasks when you're working from home, but remember that you're on the clock. Save household tasks for your scheduled breaks and take care of these things after hours. Also, you'll want to let your family or roommates know how to best approach you when you're working. It's a great idea to let them know when you are and when you're not available to them. You might consider letting them know your scheduled break times or post a sign near your designated workspace when you don't want to be disturbed. It's important to limit personal distractions. For example, plan childcare for when your kids are home from school. And if you have pets, be sure to have someone available to help care for them while you're working. How can pets be distracting? Well, if your dog barks often, you won't want that affecting conference calls. It's important to think ahead and have a plan in place for these potential distractions. Finally, don't get sucked into the distraction of social media when you're on the clock. Your best bet is to log out of all of your accounts so you don't get a ping and feel tempted to look at a video about cute kittens. Our next suggestion is to be creative and intentional about how you nurture your business relationships. Let's look at some specific examples that should help. First and always, utilize technology and stay connected. Many software and web-based applications allow you to get FaceTime with your coworkers in real time. You can collaborate on documents and use other features of these applications to work together. We said it before, but these tools are essential when working remotely. With these tools, schedule web-based video or audio meetings frequently for check-ins with your coworkers and managers so that you remain connected and on the same page. You may find that once a week is sufficient, or it may be helpful to have daily check-ins. Use instant messenger applications for informal communications during the workday. You can keep a conversation going while working on another task, and if needed, most applications you can convert your chat to audio or a video meeting. Without in-person exchanges, it's more important than ever to be sure that you're projecting a positive attitude in your communications. Also, be sure to participate actively in online meetings. In-person signs of attention like eye contact and head nods can't be seen and aren't as helpful in virtual meetings. Although you're no longer all together in the office, remember that you're not alone. Ask for help when needed, and in turn, offer assistance to others. You're still part of a larger team. As a last point, make plans to socialize with colleagues and build connection. When you can, schedule gatherings outside of the work hours where you can check in and have fun together. Maintaining a good remote work ethic is crucial and will support your success as a teleworker. In our next video, we'll discuss what you can do to develop a good work-life balance. The flexibility of being a teleworker comes with many benefits, but it can be easy to allow work to creep into your evenings and weekends if you're not careful. Balance is something that's maintained, meaning we work at it, and your work-life balance is up to you to keep in check. Let's look at some tips to help you. Indicate when you're not available in your work calendar. This will help prevent work from creeping into your personal time. Be sure to sign off when your workday is over so you don't appear available for conversations that could wait until the next business day. Do take advantage of the flexibility that comes with working remotely. For instance, you can run an errand, go to the gym, or prep dinner during lunch to leverage the convenience of working from home. However, be on guard for when you drift. Maintain good self-awareness. If you catch yourself conducting personal tasks when you should be working, save it for your break and get back to your work plan. Working from home can feel isolating, so stay connected with friends and family. Reaching out to others during your breaks and after hours can really help. To avoid the sensation of cabin fever, find things to do outside of the home when your workday is over. Go to the grocery store, take a walk, or go on a drive. Anything to change the scenery will help, and it's important that you feel fresh in your workspace the next day. And finally, seek out other people who work remotely and find out what tips work for them. Try out new ideas and continue to refine your routines, and you'll find working from home can be a great experience. Most people really enjoy the experience of working from home and find that with a little structure, they can be as productive or more productive than working in an office. As a quick final reminder, always remember to follow your employer's guidelines when you work remotely. We encourage you to self-assess your level of engagement and productivity as you put our suggestions into practice. If you're struggling to make the adjustment, don't forget to take advantage of the support of your manager and coworkers. Teams succeed together. Thank you for watching, and we hope that you found our advice helpful.